Hello students, today we are going to study a new chapter of our class 10th science NCERT textbook, that is chapter number 1, chemical reactions and equations. So let's start our today's session with a basic topic, that is chemical reaction. What is chemical reaction? Chemical reaction is a process in which one or more substances forms new substances. Here it will come forms new substances. So I hope the definition is clear that one or more substances either they combine or they directly form new substances, and it can't be reversed by physical methods. So they can't be reversed by physical methods, and physical methods you have studied in class 9th. They are magnetism, A. Here A will come instead of E. Magnetism, filtration, centrifugation, distillation and evaporation. And chemical reaction involves the change in state. Change in state means it can change from solid to liquid, liquid to gas, or either from solid to gas. It can change in color. That is the change in color. First the compound is of different color, and then after the reaction its color will change. Change in temperature. Temperature might increase, temperature might decrease after the reaction is proceeded. And evolution of gas. Any type of gas would be evolved. Now let's study about reactants and products. Reactants are who take part in chemical reaction. That is, they take part in chemical reaction. And products are the substances which are formed in a chemical reaction. Products are the substances. Reactants are generally the elements. They combine to form a substance. We can say like that. So reactants take part in chemical reaction and they form the products. So let's take an example. When a magnesium ribbon is burnt in air, that is oxygen, gives us magnesium oxide. So as it is clear here that the reactants are magnesium, we can take it as Mg. Magnesium reacts with oxygen, that is it is burnt in air, so it reacts with oxygen. So magnesium and oxygen are reactants and it gives us magnesium oxide, that is the product MgO. Now let's study about chemical equation. Till now we studied about chemical reaction, that what happens in a chemical reaction. In the chemical reaction one or more substances forms new substances, and it can't be reversed by physical methods, and it involves change in state, change in color, change in temperature and the evolution of gas. Plus, it includes reactants and products. Reactants are those who take part in the chemical reaction, and products are the substances that are formed during the chemical reaction. We took the example of magnesium, which is burnt in air, that is which reacts with oxygen, it gives us magnesium oxide. Now we will study about chemical equation. A chemical reaction can be represented by chemical equation. So, we can represent a chemical reaction by chemical equation, but there are certain rules and regulations which should be followed for the chemical equations or to write a chemical equation, that we will see further. So, what happens in chemical equation? Chemical equation uses involves uses of symbols of substances of reactant and product with mention of physical state. In the chemical reaction, as we saw here, that here we have not written the symbols and the physical state. We have just written as an example, as a theoretical example. But in chemical equation, we have to represent it in the form of symbols, plus the states should be written. What are the physical states? That is solid, liquid, gas or aqueous. What is aqueous solution? That we will study further in this slide itself. So let's study this with the help of an example. What happens in this example? We are taking the example as that we took in the further slide. Magnesium ribbon burnt in air, that is magnesium reacts with oxygen, gives us magnesium oxide. So here two things are taking part in the reaction, so we can consider them as reactants. Yes, magnesium and oxygen, they are the reactants. So Mg plus O2 gives us magnesium oxide, that is MgO. So this was a simple chemical equation which we have noted down. Now we will give the physical state. Mg is a solid, oxygen is a gas, and MgO is again a solid. So this way we have to mention its physical state along with the symbols. Now let's study what is aqueous solution. Aqueous solution is a solution in which solvent is water. If the solvent is water, that solution is said to be aqueous solution. Now let's study how to balance a chemical equation, which is the important part of this chapter. So here we will start with a complex example, and then simple examples we will do it afterwards. So our first example is Fe, that is iron, plus water gives iron oxide, or we can say ferric oxide, plus hydrogen, that is H2. Iron can also be said as ferric. We can term iron as ferric. Now let's balance it. So if we want to balance such a complex equation, what will we do? We will first make a column. We will make 3 columns. First we will write elements. Here I have written, as you can see, elements, that is 3 elements are involved in this: iron, hydrogen and oxygen, right? And then next column we will write the reactant and product. Now we will balance the equation on both the sides. What we will do? First of all, we will see. Here I have balanced for you. You just have to understand it. First we will see about iron. So here, as we can see, the writings which I have written, that you don't have to see, only the yellow colored writings, that only you have to compare. So here in the reactant side, iron contains only 1 atom, or there is only 1 molecule of iron. So, and on the product side there are 3 molecules of iron, or we can say 3 atoms of iron are there. So here we will write 1 on the reactant side, and on the product side we will write down 3. Then we will come to hydrogen. Here, as we can see, that in H2O there are 2 molecules of hydrogen. So we will write down 2, and on the product side there are 2 molecules of hydrogen. So on both the reactant and product side there are 2 molecules of hydrogen. Now oxygen. On the reactant side there is only 1 molecule of oxygen. So here we will write down 1, and on the product side there are 4 molecules of oxygen, so that we will write down 4. Now we have to make both the sides equal by balancing the chemical equation. So as we know that on the product side the molecules of iron are 3, and on the reactant side there is only 1. So we have to increase the number on the reactant side. So what we will do? we will multiply it by 3. Before that, we will make brackets and before the whole equation. As if suppose I have made here that the whole equation will be covered under the bracket, and whatever number we will add to balance the equation, that we will write down outside the bracket. Okay, so here we will multiply the iron atom with 3. So here we will write down 3 on the reactant side, as I have written already here. Now, so both the iron molecules on both the sides are equal, 3 on the reactant side and 3 on the product side. Now hydrogen is already equal on both the sides, 2 hydrogen on reactant and 2 on product side. Oxygen, now here on the product side there are 4 molecules of oxygen, and on the reactant side there is only 1 molecule of oxygen. So what will we do? We will multiply it by 4. On the reactant side we will put 4 molecules of oxygen. But then comes the problem that hydrogen molecules will also increase. It will become 8 on the reactant side, because we will multiply this 2 molecules with 4. So it will become 8, and on the product side it is only 2. So there also we will multiply it by 4, so that hydrogen molecules will become equal on both the sides. So this is how we can balance a chemical equation. So we get 3Fe. Now we will also mention its physical state along with it. 3Fe solid state plus 4H2O, which is a liquid, gives Fe3O4, which is a solid, plus 4H2, which is a gas. So iron plus water gives ferric oxide plus hydrogen gas is released. Understood? I hope now you have understood that how to balance a chemical equation. And now let's study how to balance a simple chemical equation. For this we don't need to draw a column. Here, as we can take the example of magnesium ribbon only. So Mg plus O2 gives MgO. So what will we do? Here we are having one molecule of Mg, and on the product side also we are having 1 molecule of magnesium. Now on the reactant side we are having 2 molecules of oxygen, and the product side we are having only 1 molecule of oxygen. So that we will multiply it with 2. But then magnesium also will be having 2 molecules. So here also we will multiply magnesium by 2. So this way we can balance a simple chemical equation without drawing a column. And if you want to draw a column, there is no loss in that. So 2 Mg, which is a solid state, plus oxygen, which is a gas, gives 2 MgO, which is a solid. I hope it's clear. Now, why do we need to balance a chemical equation? We studied how to balance a chemical equation, and I hope you have understood it also. But what is the need of doing so? It is due to law of conservation of mass. First reason is law of conservation of mass, that matter can neither be created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction. And so number of elements involved in chemical reaction should remain same at reactant and product side. That's why we need to balance a chemical equation. Understood? Now let's study about types of chemical reaction. Till now we studied about chemical reaction, chemical equations, and we studied that also, that chemical reaction can be represented by chemical equation through certain rules and regulations. That is, it involves uses of symbols along with the mention of its physical state. Plus the chemical equations should be balanced, as it involves law of conservation of mass, and that's why both the molecules on both the reactants and product side should be equal. Now we will study about types of chemical reactions. First type of chemical reaction is combination reaction. It is a simple reaction. What happens in this reaction? Two or more reactants combine to form a single product. Here, two or more reactants are involved, they combine and they form a single product. That is, we can see from here the example. A plus B gives AB. As simple as it looks. Let's see examples. Burning of coal. Carbon plus oxygen gives CO2. Formation of water. H2 plus O2 gives H2O, that is water, liquid. But you can see here that carbon is a solid, oxygen is a gas, which gives us a gas CO2. Here hydrogen is a gas and oxygen is a gas, but it gives us a liquid, that is water. You have to mention the physical state. Don't forget to mention the physical state. Next is decomposition reaction. What happens in this reaction? In this reaction, a compound splits into two or more substances is called decomposition reaction. In combination reaction, two or more reactants combine to form a single product, and in decomposition reaction, a compound splits into two or more substances. It decomposes and there it combines. So A gives B plus C. There are three types of decomposition reaction: thermal, electrolytic and photolysis. Let's study about each of them in detail. Thermal decomposition. What happens in this? When decomposition is carried out by heating, as the name suggests, thermal. Thermal means heat. So here the reaction, or we can say the decomposition, is carried out in the presence of heat. As we can see here, the example given: CaCO3, calcium oxide, CaCO3, that is calcium, not calcium oxide, calcium carbonate, this in the which is a solid, this in the presence of heat decomposes, splits into CaO, that is calcium oxide, plus releases a gas, that is CO2, carbon dioxide. So thermal decomposition, the decomposition is carried out in the presence of heat. Then electrolytic decomposition. Electrolytic, as the name suggests, electrolytic means related to electricity. Simple. So when decomposition is carried out in the presence of electricity, so here what is given as an example? H2O, that is water, in the presence of electric current splits into H2, hydrogen gas, plus oxygen gas. Then photolysis decomposition. Photo means sunlight, or we can say photo means light. So when decomposition is carried out in the presence of sunlight, that is AgCl, silver chloride, in the presence of sunlight gives Ag, silver plus chloride ions. So above reaction is used in black and white photography. So as I told you, photo means light. Okay. So I hope you are clear with the types of decomposition reaction. Then another type of chemical reaction is displacement reaction. The reaction in which more reactive element displaces the less reactive element from its solution. This we can understand with an example given below. Look at the figure which is given in the slide. There is an iron nail. That iron nail, when you will put inside the copper sulfate solution, which is given in test tube A, the blue colored copper sulfate solution, if you will put that iron nail in that copper sulfate solution, which consists of blue color, after some time, if you will remove that iron nail, the iron nail will taken out from the copper sulfate solution will look like brownish color. As it is given in this figure, it will look like brownish color, and the solution of the copper sulfate will become greenish color. Why? Because copper is being displaced by iron. as I have given in the equation. Look at the equation given here. Fe, that is solid, plus CuSO4 ion plus copper sulfate, which is an aqueous solution, gives FeSO4, that is iron sulfate. So here copper is displaced by iron because copper is less reactive than iron, plus copper. Understood? So here this greenish color is due to the displacement of copper from the reaction. The copper is totally removed from the reaction and it sticks to the iron nail. That's why the solution is left only with sulfate. Understood that the displacement is going on from more reactive element to from less reactive to more reactive. That is, the more reactive element displaces the less reactive element. Your iron is more reactive than copper, so that's why copper is displaced by iron. Now double displacement reaction. It is a reaction in which new compounds are formed by mutual exchange of ions between two compounds. Here what happens in double displacement reaction? New compounds are formed by mutual exchange of ions. Here ions are exchanged between the two compounds. So here we can take the example Na2SO4. I have also written their chemical name, that is sodium sulfate plus BaCl2 barium chloride gives BaSO4 barium sulfate plus 2 NaCl, that is sodium chloride. Here what happens? Ba2 plus, that is the barium chloride contains ions 2 plus, and here the sulfate which is present in sodium sulfate, it also contains ion 2 minus. Now here 2 plus ions and here 2 minus ions of sulfate, they combine to form a reaction because both consist of equal number of ions. So here there is exchange of ions. So what happens? This ions of sulfate, or we can say the sulfate from the sodium, changes to BaCl2, that is, it moves with barium. The sulfate ions move with the ions of barium, so it forms barium sulfate, and the ions of chloride moves with the ions of sodium, so it forms sodium chloride. So for that you should know the number of ions an atom or a molecule consists of. Here as we saw that barium consists of 2 plus ions and SO4, that is sulfate, consists of 2 minus ions. So both consist of same number of ions, so that's why they can be exchanged. And precipitates, there are some reactions, or we can say definitions, where we use the word precipitate. What is precipitate? It is an insoluble solid that emerges from a liquid solution. It is a type of solid, we can say small crystals which do not get dissolved in the liquid. It forms from a liquid solution and they are solid, like they look like solid, so that's why they are insoluble in liquids. Now comes the oxidation and reduction reaction, which is the fifth type of chemical reaction. I hope you are clear with the double displacement reaction. Oxidation and reduction. So let's study about them. Oxidation, the addition of oxygen to substance. Oxy means oxygen, so oxygen is added. So addition of oxygen to the substance and the removal of hydrogen from a substance. So only one thing you have to remember: oxidation is oxy, that is oxygen is added, so obviously there will be removal of hydrogen, and reduction is the opposite of oxidation, that is addition of hydrogen to the substance and removal of oxygen. Let's study this with an example. Let's see first example. 2Cu plus O2 gives 2CuO. So it is clear in this that oxygen is added in this reaction. So it is oxidation. So it is oxidation. Here what happens? Let me put this arrow above. So it is oxidation. Here what happens in the second reaction? CuO plus H2. So here CuO is converted into Cu plus H2O. CuO plus H2 gives Cu plus H2O. So here there is reduction as there is removal of oxygen. Reduction is there. Just a second. Reduction, and here oxygen is added. So here there is oxidation, and the reaction, or we say the equation which undergoes both oxidation and reduction reaction, are called as redox reaction. That is, they consist of both oxidation and reduction reaction. That chemical equation or that chemical reaction undergoes both the reactions or both the processes, oxidation and reduction. Understood? Oxidation, oxy means addition of oxygen. So obviously there will be removal of hydrogen. Reduction is opposite of oxidation, addition of hydrogen and removal of oxygen. I hope you are clear with this. Now let's study about the effects of oxidation in daily life. Corrosion. When a metal is exposed to a substance such as moisture, air, water, acid, etc. for some time, a layer of oxide is formed which weakens the metal, hence metal said to be corroded. What is given in this is corrosion. As you all know that corrosion is a basic word which we use in our daily life. Metal, when any metal is exposed to substance, or we can say when metal is exposed to something just as sunlight, air, moisture, so that time it forms a layer of oxide which weakens the metal. It weakens the metal, and this metal is said to be corroded. For example, rusting of iron. As we can see that when iron is rusted, a brownish layer of oxide is formed. We say that it is corroded. Then black coating on the silver. We say silver is corroded. Green coating occurs on copper if it is corroded. So these are the metals which get corroded due to its exposure with other substances like moisture, air, water, etc. Then rancidity. The oxidation of fats and oils when exposed to air is known as rancidity. It leads to bad smell and bad taste. A will come. Print. So what happens in this? When the fats and oils, they are exposed to air, the oxidized fats and oils, they are exposed to air, that is called as rancidity. So how can we know that they have become rancid? It gives us bad smell and bad taste of the food. Then chemical reactions are also classified on the basis of temperature. We studied the types of chemical reactions, right? Combination reaction, displacement reaction, double displacement reaction, oxidation and reduction reactions. But these chemical reactions, they are also classified on the basis of temperature. So on the basis of temperature, they are classified into two types: exothermic reaction and endothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction is the reaction in which heat is released. You might have heard of exhaust fan, right? most of you might be having at your homes. Exhaust means whenever we switch on that exhaust fan, the heat which is released from the gas, it moves outside. So that exhaust fan help us to move the heat outside. So exo means it releases the heat. So it is a reaction in which heat is released along with formation of product. Product is formed and heat is released. As we can see, the burning of natural gas CH4 methane plus oxygen gives carbon dioxide gas plus water. Water is a liquid L plus heat is released. Understood? I hope you are clear. Exo means release of the heat. Heat is released. It helps us to move the heat outside and the product is also formed. Endothermic. Endo means coming inside. The reactions which require energy in the form of heat, light and electricity are called as endothermic reaction. Exo means to move out. Endo means coming inside, to take in. So here heat is required, heat is needed, so heat is taken in. Either it can be in the form of pure heat or it can be in the form of light or electricity. So these are endothermic reactions, or you can also remember like this way: exo means outside, that is heat goes out, and endo means inside, heat comes in. Endothermic examples of endothermic reaction is all the examples which we studied in displacement reaction. That is thermal displacement reaction, electrolytic displacement reaction and photolysis displacement reaction are all the examples of endothermic reaction, because that reaction also consists of the presence of heat, light and electricity. I hope you are clear with this concept of chemical reaction which are classified based on temperature: exothermic and endothermic. Exo means moving out, to move out. Endo means taking in. So with this, we complete our chapter number 1 of our class 10 science textbook. I hope you are clear with the chapter. Thank you and have a great day.